Hi, my name is Alessandro Cangelosi, and that's a new tip tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for Max Cookie. This time we'll talk about how we can create grass inside 3ds Max in a very fast way using some internal feature. To create the grass, we'll use the air feature inside 3ds Max that is something developed by Joe Alter, the main developer behind the Shave and Haircut plugin for Maya. And I prepared a very simple scene. So you see the terrain, a very simple mesh, uh, and I created it using a plane. Then I used the noise and a freeform deformer to create this kind of shape. And I have just a camera for the moment, and later we can talk about the lighting. So we can start to work on uh, the grass, so we can collapse the mesh to an editable poly, and we can go inside the modifiers, and we have to select the Air and Fure WSM because it's a workspace modifier. Okay, uh, let's use a perspective. Okay, and you see that we have the grass all over. For the moment we have the Fure all over the surface with the default parameters. If we try to render a test using all the default value, we can obtain a very simple result. So let's go in the rendering, and let's use for the moment the scanline render, and let's try to use 400 pixel for the width, and let's see the rendering, and you see that the render of the Fure will be created after the standard rendering, but we can use the Fure in the ray trace engine, and we can calculate shadows and all the other effects we need inside a scene. So you saw that we have something similar to a Fure, but we have no grass for the moment. So we can add light, and let's use a target direct. Let's add the shadow map, and let's change the parameters so we can light the entire set, and let's render again the test, and you see that we are calculated the shadows, and that's the result for the moment. Let's go inside the environment in the effects, and you see that we have the Air and Fure effect, and we have the possibility to use a better quality for the rendering, and for the moment we have low quality. In the light now we have the air light attributes, and we have the possibility to light the hair, and we have the resolution for the shadows, and you see that we are using uh, 1200, and we can try to double it and see if it's better or not. And you see that it's more precise, and we can go forward using maybe 4800. Let's test it, and you see that we have more precise shadows. And let's set, for example, a skylight, and let's change it like this one. Okay, and let's check the render. You see that we have no skylight in the hair. Let's use 0.5, and let's go inside the effects. I choose and Air and Fure, and we can say apply skylight, and let's see if it works. And you see that we have the skylight or the hair. We can change a little the multiplier just over the hair, and you see that it's better than before, maybe less. Okay, let's try to make a bigger render to see the quality. And you see what we are calculating at the moment. So we have to change the parameters for air and fuel to achieve a grass quality and a grass look. The best thing is that air and fuel has an internal preset to create basic grass. So let's go inside the presets, load, tall grass. Okay, and you see that the preview in the viewport is changed, and it seems similar to some grass. Let's render it. It is calculating the shadows, and now it is working on the fuel rendering with the grass look. And you see that we have no more fuel or air, but we have something different, and it seems like grass. It has a grass look. So let's go back in the scene. Okay, and let's close the tools, and let's check how we can interact with the grass look. And you see that we have the hair count, and we can have more or less grass inside the scene. And you see that I changed the amount of hair, so the look is changed, and it's better to use more. Then we have the possibility to change the segments so it can be more precise or less precise, and the air passes to have more quality. Then we have the density to have less hair or more layer, and we have the scale. So let's go back in the camera viewport, and you see that the grass is too big, so we can scale it, for example, like that. We can try to render to see how it looks. And you see that we have too much lighting inside, so let's close it. Okay, we have to change the root thick, so it needs to be more little. Let's check it now. And you see that now is more little, but we have to change it again. Now I'd like to have less lighting or the grass, so I change the amount of skylight, and then I go again there to change to 1.5 the root thick, and I'd like to change also the amount of skylight we have inside the scene. Let's try with 0.25, and let's render it again. Okay. Okay, let's go back to select the light, and let's use more quality. We can use better shadows there, and also better shadows there for let's try with 10,000 8,000, the maximum amount. let's render it and let's see the look. Okay, we need more grass. So let's select this one and let's choose, for example, 25,000 and let's use more segments, and we have the random scale to choose a random scaling of the grass, and we have the possibility to cut the grass. And let's go there. We have the material parameters, so we can change the tip color, so the upper side of the grass color, or the root color, so we can change the base color of the grass. And then we can add a hue variation, so you see we can use a basic color, or we can add a hue variation. You see that we are using a hue variation over the grass, and if the value is very high, we have also strange colors like that. So let's go back to something like that. So we have more green colors, and we have the value variation. You see that we have the basic color coloring, like using zero value variation, and if we use the value variation, we have a lot of variation on the green used on the the grass mesh. Then we have the possibility to add a mutant color. So for example, we can choose to have a very dark grass, and then we can add the percentage. So sometimes you see that we have this very dark grass inside the green. And actually we have the possibility also to go there, and we have the possibility to flex or not the grass, and you see that we are changing how it looks, and we can choose how we'd like to change it, and you see that I can stylish it automatically, or we can use also the styling look to groom all the hair that will be the grass. And let's try to render now the hair, so we see how it looks, our grass. I saw something strange on the workstation, so I hope the recording has no problem, but I just finished to see the rendering. So you see that we need maybe more grass there, and maybe more changes and variation over the length. So I changed the random scale, so we have more quality, and I change the count to 35,000, and let's check it again for a new test. And I think that we need more grass. It's not bad in this area, for example, and it will be fine if we move the camera, but near the camera we need more grass mesh, and it's not bad, the quality there. I think that it's useful to change this tip to a tutorial, so I prefer to spend more time on the grass tips, and we we change it from a tip to a tutorial. So the tip for this week will be something else. For example, maybe the volumetric lighting inside 3ds Max. So let's go back on the scene, and for example, let's use a perspective to understand if it works from a distant point of view. Let's render it. And now we see how to work on the material parameters, and then we see how we can work with Max Hair to create grass in for mental ray, because actually we are using just the scanline render. So we see that we have some area where we have a good quality grass, but in other area we have not so much grass. So we have to work on it. And before, I'd like to create a simple shader for the terrain, and let's call it terrain. And let's choose a bitmap coming from 3ds Max. So let's go there in programs, 3ds Max and maps, and let's check ground, and we can use the gray dirt. I assign it, and let's change the tiling, something like 6 and 6. Okay, and maybe I can change a little the color, so let's use something like this, and I change the amount to 65. Okay, let's try to render it. Okay, it seems working, and let's use again the Renfure, and let's see the final quality using also texture for the ground. And now we have to change the air count. Okay, we have the shadows over the ground, and then we are rendering the hair and fur. And it's not bad. We need more grass, but it's not bad. Let's wait for the final rendering. Okay, let's try to use, for example, 60,000, and let's check just an area to understand if we have enough grass or not. Let's render it, and you see that it is slower than before, but it's normal because we are working on a lot of hair and we have higher shadows for it. Okay, I think that for this point of view it's not bad, but I can imagine that if we move the camera again back, we need more grass. But you see that it will be not bad from this point of view. Let's try to move the camera near using the perspective, something like that. Let's render it, and then we can try to use the camera point of view to check if the parameters are good or not, and then we move to mental ray. From this point of view, it will be fine, I think. You see, it looks very interesting and uh, not bad in the realism from the photorealism point of view. Let's wait for the final stripe of the rendering. Okay, you see there that the look is very realistic. Let's create a new camera from this point of view. Okay, so we have camera 2 and let's go to camera 1 and let's try to render from camera 1, and I think that it will be not so good, I can imagine. If the quality will be not okay for this point of view, you know that you have to change just the hair count to have more grass in the scene. So it's very simple to achieve the final result, and you can work with less grass in the scene for the test rendering, and then you can use the final count for the final rendering. You see, well, maybe it's not bad. It seems not bad. And you have to imagine maybe with final quality for the anti-alias, and you have to imagine maybe the depth of field, and we can imagine a lot of for example the motion blur due to the movement of the grass with the hair and the wind. And maybe if we have time we can work on it this time, or maybe we can prepare uh, a special tip tutorial just for to work um, on the dynamic for the grass. So it looks not bad. I'd like to test. I make a copy of the rendering, and I like to go inside the environment effects. I choose air and fuel, and I like to try to use a better quality for the oversampling. Um, let's use high, and let's use more memory because I have the possibility on this workstation. So I try to use 300 megabytes, and then I can go back and I can render again and to see how it looks. You see that before we have a last frame time for 1 minute and 20 seconds, and let's see how much time it needs using this anti-alias quality. Maybe we can achieve a better result. And the quality, it's better, I can see there. Let's see when we have a lot of grass and very tiny grass there at the horizon. I think it's okay, and you have to think about the actual anti-alias we are using inside the scene. That is the basic area, and we are using the scanline rendering. Let's check also if the rendering time will be higher or not. So let's wait for the last part of the rendered image. Okay. And we have 2 minutes, so 40 seconds more, and the result is better. So we were talking about the material stuffs, and you have all the shader information and parameters there, as we saw before. And you have the possibility also to work on the specularity and the glossiness and the specular color. And you see that we have also the self shadows for the shadows created by the grass over the grass, and the geometry shadows. So if we have a mesh inside the scene, we'll create will cast shadows over the grass. And you see that we can use a texture for every single value. So we can use a texture for the tip color or the root color, and we can control the hue variation using a textures or whatever else. And the interesting way point of view is that we can use also texture to control and the density and the scale and the cut length and the random scale and the thickness of the grass. So it's very interesting that we can change, for example, the density. Let's go, for example, inside the camera 2, and let's go there in the density, and let's use a checker, and let's copy the map there like an instance. Okay, and then we can change it, and you see that we are changing the grass using the checker, and we can change, for example, the softener. So you see that it's changing, and we can change, for example, also to a gray, and let's use an area for the rendering, and let's go back in the environment, effects, air and fuel, and let's change to draft, so we will be fast to render it. And now we can see that the density of the grass will be controlled by the checker. So you have many possibility to achieve very complex grass setup just using custom maps or procedural maps, or also bitmap or animated bitmap. It's not a problem. Okay, and you see that we have more density where the checker is white, and less density where the checker is gray, and you have all the possibility you like to have. And for example, I can change the other parameters like the scale using the map, so we can swap it, and we can go there again, and we can change it like this. So we'll have the normal density, but we'll have higher grass where the cellular the checker texture is white, and lower grass where the checker texture is black or dark gray. Let's wait for the rendering so we can see the difference in the various checker area. And you see that the grass there is very low, so we see just some point, and you can see better there. The last thing we have to check is the possibility to work, and I'd like to save this scene for you. So let's go Okay, CG Cookie, February 3ds Max, and it will become sorry, not there, in the deliver. Okay, February Max, tooth number 2, and we have 3ds Max, tooth February 2. Okay, and you see that we have the lights there, so I remove all the lights and I go there and I create a daylight system for Mentoray. Okay, and let's use Mentoray Sun and Mentoray Sky, and we'll use the map in the environment. Let's change the time, so let's use 9 at 9 o'clock, and then we have to go inside the environment. In the we can select the Mentoray photographic exposure, clear sky, daylight. Let's go in the effects, air and fuel, and we have to change the way air will render the grass, and we have to go inside the hairs and change from buffer to Mentoray primitives, because inside Mentoray there's a custom hair primitives that can be used and render it, and it's very useful and very realistic. So you see that we have no more option for it, and everything will be calculated by Mentoray. So let's go there and let's make a copy, and let's select this one and let's remove the map. So let's go there and let's select Mentoray, and actually we have the final gather. Let's remove the final gather and let's render it. Sorry, we have to fix the virtual frame buffer, because you see we see just an area. Okay, let's close it and let's render again. Okay, and let's wait for the first render. You have to remember that we have a lot of air. And let's wait for it. So you know that you have to think about it. For example, you can choose to render the grass using the skyline render, and then you can compete in the scene using a composite software if it will be faster. And you see that actually we are using not using the final gather, but we can use it with no problem. In fact, you see that we need more quality for the grass. So to achieve a better result, we have to go there and we have for example to change the resolution to a better quality level, and then we can go inside the rendering and we can add the final gather, maybe set to low and with just a diffuse bounces, and let's see just maybe an area for the rendering, because we have to wait too much to see the final result. You see that we have to wait for the final gather calculation, and the final gather will be calculated also for the grass also. So the photorealism of the final render will be very high. Maybe now we have too much light inside over the grass, but it's just to test it. I stop the recording so you can not wait for the rendering. Then we see just when the render will be over. So that's the final result. Obviously, it needs to be tweaked and to become better than the actual result. And but it's useful to know that we can use also Mental Red to render the grass. So for this tutorial is everything, and I hope to see you again on Max Cookie to check new tutorials and tip tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Thanks.